There's been some talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocked him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
But Anthony, listen to me. Don't take a dive with this Jake Paul, mate. Do not do that. That's $1 billion, my God. Don't do it. Don't make it. Don't do what the others have done. Do not take dives. If he fights nothing, get us in it. And good luck with it.
Also says he's going to bet £1 million on Jake Paul knocking out
This is what I'm saying.
It's not even about it being realistic or not. Like, it's gonna happen. So fasten your seatbelts or whatever. And when I knock him out,
Jake Paul, the internet personality turned professional boxer, has stirred controversy once again by calling out Anthony Joshua following his recent victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. The challenge gained unexpected traction when Turki Al-Lalshik, Saudi Arabia's influential boxing advisor, reportedly backed a potential bout, lending it a degree of credibility in certain circles. However, the wider boxing community has largely rejected the idea of a Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua matchup, citing overwhelming concerns about the significant physical disparity between the two fighters and the questionable legitimacy of such a contest within the realm of professional boxing.
Jake Paul has always reached out to Anthony Joshua a few times. I've spoken to Nikisa, Jake's manager. It's never a fight we anticipated. It's never a fight we targeted. But if you want Jake Paul to be the warm-up, right? And obviously financially it's a great opportunity for AJ, and you want to provide AJ and probably in turn Max with the opportunity to extinguish Jake Paul from the world of boxing, then maybe AJ will oblige.
Jake Paul, you've lost your mind. You think you can go toe to toe with Anthony Joshua? Listen, let's not get confused, guys. Let's not get confused. Yes, Paul, Anthony took a big L with Daniel Dubois, but Daniel Dubois is not no joke, bro. Not a joke. No, Dana Day, he took an L, yeah, but Jake Paul, I've got the utmost respect what he's done, how he managed to navigate through the boxing world. Like, bro, it's so mad. And I can see this is like a 90%. It's happening, it's positioning, it's marketing already. Like, why would you see Jake Paul go face to face with Alexander Usyk if it's not to position for fight for Saudi? Obviously, Jake Paul's gonna fight Anthony Joshua. There's possibly gonna be a Usyk against Tyson Fury 3, because obviously the last two were so close. But you never know. It can also be a Usyk against Derek Chisora. You know what I mean? You never know.
After defeating Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Jake Paul confirmed that his long-anticipated showdown with Anthony Joshua is looking increasingly likely for next year. Speaking confidently, Paul declared, "I want to fight Anthony Joshua. I know I will beat Anthony Joshua. He doesn't have a chin. He's stiff." His bold claim has sparked widespread debate in the boxing world, as many question whether Paul is ready to take on a former unified heavyweight champion with vastly superior experience and physicality.
and so I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see him lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I would want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen. He called me up, and it's looking very likely to finish.
Jake Paul celebrated his win over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. as proof of his growth in the ring and reaffirmed his desire to face Anthony Joshua, despite not being a full-fledged heavyweight. Citing Deontay Wilder's success at lighter weights, Paul embraced the risk and framed it as a challenge worth taking. Momentum for the potential matchup appears to be building, with discussions reportedly involving Saudi boxing chief Turki Al-Lalshik and Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn. Notably, Joshua himself has indicated openness to the bout, provided Paul is serious, adding further intrigue to what could become one of boxing's most unexpected and talked-about showdown.
Now, I know you're after a world title, but if that doesn't materialize, I know the Tommy Fury name has been floated about. Is there any other fighters who may not be world champions that you're looking to face?
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Joshua.
I think that's the main one that we've talked a lot about. Is if it's not for the title, it's
looking at Tommy, he's reasonable, and then Anthony Joshua. He's adamant that he wants to make that fight happen at the end of 2026.
Anything's possible. And so I like the challenge. People, that's the criticism. Fight someone in their prime who's a beast. I think people just want to see me lose. That's really what the message is behind it all. And Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen. He called me up, and it's looking very likely for next year.
Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua's promoter, acknowledged the potential spectacle and financial appeal of a fight between Jake Paul and Joshua, but issued a stern warning to the YouTuber-turned-boxer. Be careful what you wish for. Hearn noted that Paul is bold, and perhaps crazy, enough to chase the fight, recognizing the massive payday it would generate for both men. However, he didn't mince words about the danger involved, describing Joshua as a legitimate heavyweight monster and emphasizing the brutal risk of such a mismatch. Hearn called the potential bout a catastrophic mismatch that could end Paul's career, literally or figuratively, underscoring the serious physical and reputational consequences of stepping into the ring with a seasoned, elite-level heavyweight.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, 50-50 fight. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I just said in another interview, great if it is. I mean, if it is, then you've got no problem seeing it. But when AJ, I mean, decapitate's a strong word, but you know, when he renders Jake Paul unconscious like he did to Francis Ngannou, don't then say, oh well, Jake Paul. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when AJ beat Francis Ngannou, Ngannou just had a fight that could have gone either way with Tyson Fury. Then AJ poleaxed him, and everyone just said he's just an MMA fighter. You know what I mean? Jake Paul's not Francis Ngannou. But as I said before, if you want to see Jake Paul exit the boxing world, make the fight.
However, Eddie Hearn has acknowledged that Jake Paul's strategy of calling out high-profile professional boxers is driven by the pursuit of massive paydays, recognizing the business acumen behind the move, even if the risk is immense. Adding a new layer to the conversation, boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. offered a more cautious perspective on the potential Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua matchup. While Jones admitted the fight could happen if Joshua truly wanted it and it made sense financially, he emphasized that it must also hold competitive merit for the former unified world champion. Firm in his stance, Jones warned, "Did you see what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? The same thing happens to Jake Paul. If you think someone who isn't a full-time boxer will beat Anthony Joshua, then you're crazy." His blunt assessment underscores the serious physical and professional dangers Paul could face by stepping into the ring with a heavyweight of Joshua's caliber.
Crazy. I want to change subjects just a little bit here. And Anthony Joshua, there's rumours circulating he could be fighting Jake Paul next. One, do you think it's good for boxing? And two, do you think the fight will happen?
I think it's great for boxing. I think the fight will happen. AJ is one of those guys that come in to my career late. So why not? He's the perfect guy to take him out too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out? And for him, he probably made more money fighting Jake Paul than he would fighting anybody else that he's fighting. I said, why would he not do it? I mean, not that he needs money right now anyway, but he's going to do something if he wants to get a good win to put it back on the scene. That's a perfect win. You get a lot of money doing it.
Dave Forough and Spencer Oliver recently weighed in on the rapidly escalating public debate over the possibility of a bout between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. The speculation intensified following Saudi boxing supremo Turki Alalshik's appearance on *Talksport* at Wembley, where he hinted at giving the fight the green light. Alalshik confirmed that Jake Paul has verbally accepted the bout and expressed his own desire to see Joshua dismantle Paul in what he described as a 1991-style mismatch, a reference to a one-sided beating. He framed the fight as a win-win test of legitimacy for both fighters, a chance for Paul to prove he belongs at the highest level and for Joshua to reaffirm his dominance by silencing a brash upstart in front of the world.
From all of that common sense, we talk about this. We talk about the potential of Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul getting it on. He's some promoter, Jake Paul, of himself and of others too. But let's talk about the potential. Could you see this happening?
You know what? I think I could. You know what? I'll tell you what I can. Firstly, let me just say about Jake Paul. Look, he's been nothing but good for the sport. Forget what people think about him in the ring and what he's doing in the ring. He's been incredible for women's boxing, insane for women's boxing. He's really brought it to the forefront. With what he's done with Amanda Serrano, now signing up all these other girls that we've got, Chantel Cameron, and all the rest of the girls that he's signing up. Brilliant news, like that's fantastic for women's sport, women's boxing. but he's also bringing eyeballs to boxing as well, because he has a huge audience, and with what he's doing now, you're getting these, the younger generation who had no interest in boxing at all, now starting to watch it. So he's transforming so many people. You have to respect that. What he's doing is a promoter who's doing brilliantly. Now he's calling out Anthony Joshua. Is it real? Does he really want to smoke? I mean, he's got to be an idiot if he does, because Anthony Joshua, let's use this as a comparison. Francis Ngannou called Anthony Joshua out after pushing Tyson Fury the way that he did, and he looked at that and he went in there and he iced him in 2 rounds. Francis Ngannou versus Jake Paul, you got to go heavily on Francis Ngannou, haven't you? So what's going to happen to poor Jake Paul if he boxes Anthony Joshua, this Olympic gold medalist, 2-time world champion?
However, many seasoned boxing professionals have outright condemned the idea of Jake Paul facing Anthony Joshua, particularly if it leads to Paul receiving a WBC ranking. Veteran heavyweight Derek Chisora has been especially vocal, fiercely criticizing the notion and branding it a deep disrespect to the sport. Chisora argued that real athletes dedicate years of hard work to climb the ranks, often facing dangerous, ranked opponents along the way, while Paul, who has mostly fought non-ranked or past their prime opponents, will be unfairly elevated due to his fame rather than merit. He directed sharp criticism at WBC President Mauricio Suleiman, accusing him of trading the organization's credibility for money and declaring that is a disgrace to boxing. That is unfair. Chisora emphasized that rankings should be earned through performance in the ring, not handed out based on social media clout, commercial appeal, or promotional hype.
WBC and BC have said they're going to give a cruiserweight ranking to the winner of this fight. Do you think they deserve one?
I don't think so. I don't know. It's hard enough for real athletes, real boxers, to get those rankings, and then suddenly it's Solomon Tuesday decides to give double rankings because he's getting some greens in his, back pocket. No, that is disgrace to boxing.
Lawrence Oakley has voiced serious concern over Jake Paul's potential showdown with Anthony Joshua, warning that such a matchup could pose a grave safety risk. While Oakley previously sparred with Paul and praised his dedication and mindset, he now believes that facing an elite-level fighter like Joshua, who possesses world-class power, size, and technique, will be a dangerously one-sided and potentially harmful encounter for the YouTuber-turned-boxer. His sentiment echoes that of many in the boxing world. Promoter Eddie Hearn has already labeled the idea dangerous, very dangerous, while Frank Warren described it as a big ask, citing the massive physical and skill gap between the two fighters. Together, these voices underline a growing consensus among professionals that, despite the hype and financial appeal, such a fight would be an extreme mismatch with serious risk for Paul.